internet problem. So.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's elite, best in class.
Yes, he is. What were your impressions, your takeaways? And then we can ask Matt and Wes. And gosh, we're glad you guys and Wendy joined us. Go ahead, Wen.
And the company is free to move. That's the company, if you want to know. Free to move.
Free to move?
Yep. They're a Stellantis subsidiary. They're owned by Stellantis 100%. Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead, Wen.
Okay, so actually I spent a lot of my time with Russell and Matt and Wes, oddly enough, because we're all in the same room here. Guys, there was magic in the air. That's all I can say. You know me. I was talking to a dealer who came up to me at my table, and he's a Cadillac one, a guy that Wes knows, by the way. So Ian, now that the guys are in the room, if you wouldn't mind repeating that in between me and the
if you're
speaker,
go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Forget. You know me. I gotta push through. Like I'm Russell Jr.
Yeah.
If you interrupt me,
go ahead. Go ahead.
See you in an hour.
Yeah.
So it was magical, you guys. It was, and the thing is I got invited by Paul. I'm like, hey, I was going for a different way in, and I said, and Paul had this great idea, and he invited me to be part of hospitality and registration. So I got a special shirt. And I was with a couple of the girls from Blink AI. I was with Sandy Zanino because she got invited as well. You guys, imagine us and Chris Reeves and Elena that's on their team. Alana. Imagine us. No. Christy Kim or Alana. Anyway, I was with all those guys the whole time, you guys. I felt like part of the greatest show on earth. I had my little sequin thing on, so I was blinging all day, every day. And I was floating 10 feet up the entire time, and I'm still basking in the glow. Although my energy is waning, because I've been firing on like 25 cylinders on a V8 engine, okay? So it's going to run out of put soon. Anyway, guys, it was incredible. It was the relationships. It was the presentations. Matt gave a masterful one. It's just so timely. If you don't know his product, you got to find out. It's just a no-brainer. And I'm not here to pitch. I'm just stating fact, plain and simple. Wes has got something magical going on. You need to talk to him about that. I talked to a number of people about MK and SparkServe. I talked to a number of the partners with regard to acquisitions because I was kind of doing some shopping for one of my acquisition GMs here in Arizona. And checking out a couple of the partners like Agile Auto and Frank Knox and all that stuff, kind of putting our ducks in a row for like maybe Q3. And a couple other people that got some seats planted with partner integrations. Great conversations since, you guys. We so missed you. And I'm telling you, I've already been invited back next year as part of that team. Guys, don't miss it next year. Because if this year was any indication, they're on fire, and it's gonna blaze brighter and brighter. So you just got to be there. And I'm sorry to ramble, but I'm done.
No worries. So there's a couple thoughts for anyone on the vendor space. If you missed it earlier, you didn't sign in. I talked to Bill Camastro, who runs Gold Coast Cadillac in New Jersey, Jersey Shore. He's a Pinnacle dealer, which is one of the top dealers in the U.S. market. Cadillac is basically not supporting the dealers with product. So they're going to have to make their own way for the foreseeable next 12 to 18 months because they're left with one gasoline vehicle in their entire array of vehicles. Everything else is electric, and Cadillac doesn't have a solution. So they basically said, well, those are the brakes, and good luck, I guess, and Godspeed. So Bill was not happy because 70% of his clients don't buy Escalades. That's the only car he's got. And he said he's in a good spot. A lot of the dealers, it's less, they sell less than that in Escalades. So essentially what you'll get is You're going to be selling a lot of used cars. You're going to be doing a lot of service. Acquisitions. So he's all in for that stuff. But they're supposedly having a heavy meeting in New York City with the new head of Cadillac, which I'm sure will be a hot room because he's got to come with some sort of answer. But the other company that I ran into last week, I was talking a little about, is a wholly owned subsidiary of a small company, Stellantis. The company's called freetomove.com. What they do, they have their own money because they're Stellantis owned. They're agnostic to platform, but what they do is they help dealers sell aged new inventory or aged used inventory through a lease product. They can lease any way they want. So it could be fleet lease, it could be subprime lease, it could be lease to own, it could be whatever. They're global. So that's another company you may want to take a look at. But if you're not targeting Cadillac dealers for a service product, you should put them on their list. They're going to need some form of acquisition or some form of service help because they're in a long road and Cadillac's not giving them a lifeline. They're basically saying, sell the electrics.
Can we post in the chat a suicide prevention hotline number? They may need that.
Well, if you don't know Bill, you might want to call him and just say, "Hey, buddy, I'm sorry to hear about that. Can I help you?"
And I will call him. Matt, I'm awful sorry. I'm sorry I missed all you guys, but tell us a little bit about what you were doing there. I heard you did terrific things and what you pulled out of it, and blah blah blah.
Yeah. So it was interesting, right? We had been sort of contemplating perhaps doing it last year. We ended up opting out because we officially went to market 52 weeks ago Monday. And so the timing was tough with our go-to-market. We decided to go do it this year, see what it's all about. We got a lot of sort of mixed bag of commentary from people in the industry, a lot of vendor folks like, yeah, there's no dealers there, nobody talks to you, yada, yada, yada. Wasn't what we'd experienced. I would argue that it was quite likely the sole capstone event in automotive this year.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything remotely close to it. The production quality of that event is embarrassing to everybody else who says they throw a summit.
Thank you.
In automotive. NADA included. Their main stage makes NADA look like the kids' table.
Yeah.
I mean, so for us, we're not typically a booth company per se, because we're not a vendor, right? Like, we give our product away for free to every dealer in the country. It works well, we convert at about a 92% clip to paid. And so for us, when we go do NADA, it's mostly about going and supporting our partner agencies, walking the floor, meeting with dealer groups that sit on the OS. But it was interesting for us, right? Like, we got this opportunity to present at the AI Summit on Tuesday. And like many other times that I do these types of speaking events, I'll sit around and, opine on speaking notes and all the other things. And then at the 11th hour, you just sort of throw it all in the trash on the way up to the stage and ad-lib your way through it. So we were blessed to have an opportunity to sort of take that impressive stage, showcase the product to a couple hundred people that were there for Tuesday. Unfortunately, we had to sort of Irish goodbye thereafter because we had like 3 group demos that we had to do, and it was just so chaotic there. We had to go back to the Airbnb and run those demos. And I sort of regretted not being there after, sort of for the happy hours and whatnot on Tuesday because we found out the next day that there was some buzz around our presentation, which we were super grateful for. We did have a good opportunity to take about 15 dealers and a couple of writers from Automotive News to an Orioles-Yankees game, which was fun on Monday night. But then the rest of the show was amazing. We did not find it to be disinterested dealers or vendor heavy. I think partially because there was some buzz going around about what we're doing. I was a little disappointed I didn't get to sit in on more sessions because there were a lot of really smart operators there, driving pretty compelling narratives about how they're changing the status quo at their stores. But we were like absolutely backed up bell to bell with conversations. I won't be surprised if we add 300 to 400 stores off of that show alone. So it was incredible. The human connection was top notch. The speakers were top notch, and the way they closed that out with vehicles for change for those families, not only to be sort of gifted those life-changing vehicles, right? Because they give these to families that are poverty-stricken, typically single moms caring for their kids that live outside of access to public transportation, right? So they're in really tough situations as far as just simple stuff like getting to work, getting to the grocery store. Gave away 2 vehicles, and then these kids growing up, very similar to how I grew up, with often having less than the kids I went to school with, got to sit there and watch David Spisak tell his own rags to riches, like abuse, chaos, childhood story of how he came out of a similar situation to these kids, went to the Navy, found the automotive business, and rose up to be CEO of AutoNation and board member at the San Francisco 49ers for almost a decade. Like, it's hard to fathom what sparks that may have been struck in that room with those kids at that moment. And really touching. They brought it home with a real focus on the people and how AI can help. I've been really driving this narrative that this industry deserves more than headcount replacement as ROI from bots that are automating people away, replacing people, and ultimately gutting the business of not only the human capital and the knowledge that the humans bring, but also the compounding learning that humans can continue to grow within a dealership if they're actually collaborating with that AI over time. So it was really nice to see other companies that were focusing more on collaborative AI integrations with humans. The ones that stood out to me particularly were Ciro. Jason Harris is involved in that business. It is very, very interesting. I sat on the Visioneers team at Gong when I was at Pure Cars. Gong is a call, record, transcribe, analyze, coach platform. Ciro takes it like a step further in automotive, where it's actually recording showroom level interactions and whatnot. Very compelling platform. Jay Koo and Colby Joyner are doing very cool things with Hey Greenlight. That is sort of a salesperson wingman. Sort of load their lips, use AI to collaborate with the salesperson on communication front. And then Mia. I think Mia, in a very crowded field of like AI receptionists, is striking a very nice balance of brand integration across platforms and sort of just a right note amidst all of the crowded fields of Mias and Pams and Numas and Brooks and whatever else. So those were three that really stood out to me from what I got to see. Again, I was pretty much drinking out of the fire hose all week, but we had a blast. It was a great show. We will not miss it next year. We'll definitely be a part of it.
If you haven't
year.
checked out Matthew's product, you should. I've checked it out myself a while ago now, but impressive, very impressive product. Thanks, Matthew.
Yeah, we're it's evolving every day.
Yeah.
So
what is the platform?
Horizon, not spelled the way you'd expect, but maybe you can put it in the chat.
It's Horizon with no O's. I'll drop you the website. Check it out. We're doing some fun stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, if you want to stand out with marketing in your local market and you want AI to help with that, that's sort of my 10-second pitch. Really impressive product. Game changer, I think, for dealers who aren't even aware that they can do that, and probably will get outfoxed by dealers in their market who are doing that. And if you don't know David already, I mean, David would be, I'm sure, very interested in what you're doing. It's very interesting. And I've been to a SodaCon before, so I can speak to being there myself before. I'm glad to hear that they're getting their sea legs, because the one I was at a couple of years ago was good and bad. So it wasn't a bad event, but it was just getting started. So that was a couple of years ago. So I'm glad to hear
And the
that
production is always top notch.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was good. It was a good show. Don't get me wrong.
Very static.
Yeah, I did a lot of interviews. I met a lot of people. It was all good. So
it's really good to hear that dealers are coming and engaging, because a conference with just a bunch of vendors really drags things down. But when you got dealers, elbow and elbow with everybody learning, that makes it really good.
Yeah, I mean, like, I did talk to the More Than Cars guys about it. Their gate estimates was that it was about 60% dealers, 40% vendors.
It's way better than it used to be.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The reality, though, is that, like, I think I was even talking to my buddy Mark Dibb about it, right? And he's like, for us, like, we're ad agency. There's so many conflicts with respect to what More Than Cars does, or Cirillo does, or Paul does with different things, that it feels a little weird to be there. But I think for innovators, it's the right space, in the context that there's a lot of people in automotive that attend that show that are sort of on the leading edge, trying to break the norms, find the newest things, etc. And it's a good crowd. And for us, right, like, we're a pure platform. We have no service layer. Agencies and other companies that might integrate with us are as much of an opportunity as a dealer is. So it's very fertile ground for us to just build our relationships and talk integrations and things.
Matt, it's funny you said that, because anytime I've gone to NADA or any of these conferences, I hear the same common complaint: there's not enough dealers. But I think if the vendors all tie in together, listen, what I do ties in with Russell. What Russell does ties in with Mike Larkin. Right. Is that a ferret?
Yeah, good try. You can probably recognize by the tail before it disappears in my background. No, my wife rescues possums this time of year. So we've got like 5 baby possums that we got, and they are literally like the best pets in the world. Like, hands down.
What's that rodent crawling on your shoulder? I was like, what am I witnessing?
Yeah. No, we've got some pet raccoons too, who are cool, but definitely less cool than the possums.
I am not sending my 18-year-old, actually 19-year-old, to your house, because she brings home everything.
Yeah.
Got to.
Quick, yeah. David Rozak, play dead.
Wendy, you had your hand up? You had your virtual hand up?
Oh, I was just
gonna... do not like my dogs.
Super brief.
You'd be surprised, bro. Like, Possums are actually like the best natured, chillest animals ever. They get along with everybody. They just chill.
They just look like rats, that's all.
They just
When they're babies like this, they look like rats. When they get bigger, they're really, really cool looking.
Yeah, adults just kind of
They
sit
look like big rats.
The adults just kind of sit and snort in my backyard, and my dogs kind of look at them like, "What the hell are you? Are you gonna leave?" And they just sit there stubbornly. They don't move.
Like that.
I just wanted to add on the SodaCon thing that two things. One about Steve Greenfield, the other about branding. So Steve Greenfield, it was great to have his participation because all these big names, and even when Brian came in with his entourage and everything else, there were good pieces where there were quality interactions, even if they were brief encounters, because not everybody was there for the duration, it didn't seem. But it brought a great eclectic group, I think. And I think the presence of the idea, the pursuit of possibly pitch tank for a startup would be a wonderful one from now to next year. And I had suggested that maybe even because of the ATI event that April Rain of Digital Rain helps Steve put on at NADA, that would be a great thing to have on someone's horizon. And I think, did we lose Wes? I know he sent a text of a ball field, so his kid must be playing baseball. But anyway, the other thing is that same Cadillac dealer that came up to me, I didn't know who he was. I was sitting alone at a table when he came up. And when I said, oh, by the way, my name is Wendy, what's your name? And he's like, David. And he's like, aren't you the beautiful people lady? Because he comes into those clubhouse rooms with David Long and with everybody else. And I always say, good morning, beautiful people. And he remembered that. Sorry.
Was it David Sants from Moore Cadillac?
Yes, it was.
Good guy, do some work.
We spent an amazing amount of time with him. It was wonderful. We talked about, he's the one that asked me what I thought, and then he started the conversation, and Wes got to know him quite well. And I don't remember if Russell, you met David as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good people.
So, but anyway, yeah, that's a good opportunity now to reach out and tell them about this Cadillac stuff.
I'm telling you, Cadillac, if you're in the service side, woo.
I'm already on it. I said, Wes, you better reach out. Tell him acquisitions and service BDC.
They are in a bind if they can't get out of it.
Marketing.
Yeah.
Trifecta. Let's go. Sorry, I didn't mean to pitch.
If you're good at selling EVs, they got lots of them.
Hey, Rhonda, can I go next?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's funny. I was
Oh,
going to
I'm
call on you,
sorry.
Mark. Mike's got a program that's really cool. Tell him about it, Mike.
Yeah.
This past Monday, well, you guys are all at the State of the Union for cars. We had the State of the Union for AI marketing and what's happening right now. And I want to share with you 4 tips, 4 notes that I have, is that of the AI, and I quote this for you, Russell, experts, they're divided, yeah, right. They're divided into 2 camps. The one camp is, hey, AI will smarten up enough to run my business next year. Well, so we'll wait till it gets smarter. The other camp is AI can't run a business that aren't ready for AI. So kind of what's that mean? So AI is going to pick the winners and losers in every single industry, and it's going to pick them based on one thing: how ready they are for AI. It's not the other way around as people might think. I'm going to choose to do AI. It's going to choose you. So with that, the other note I have is 99% of businesses today have the wrong business foundation for AI that's opening up many $1 billion of industry like a blue ocean wave. And not a red ocean where people are biting each other and blood is in the water. This is totally new. And for those that want to figure out how AI is going to choose you, we have an AI audit. But suffices to say, if you were on a timeline from 1998 to right now, the SOPs, standard operating procedures, delivered from a company's mission, vision, values, that's where they got this from, is documented for people running a business. This is SOT, and it stands for source of trust. These sources of trust are derived from a mission, vision, values, but they're created for the AI to be able to choose that company and make them more visible in their market. Those that are going to wait, okay, good luck next year, because you're going to have to start from the ground running up, uphill battle. So that's where we are on this, as far as AI goes, as far as the training we've done for the past 4 years. You can't find me on Mondays, so I'm in training all day on Mondays, and those are the 3 or 4 points that I got out of the State of the Union, or State of the AI Union, I guess, whatever they're calling it.
David Rosen, you weren't at SodaCon, right?
Nope, I was at home. I don't fly a lot.
Got it.
Also, if you haven't been at NIADA, that's an interesting event. In addition, I did connect to a gentleman, if anyone wants to get into the RV space, that runs the National Organization for RVs. So if you want to get into the RV space and talk to RV dealers, you let me know. I don't know how visible he is, and they are, but there's a few of them. I also happened to connect to a really interesting subprime organization that has 169 stores in the US that are mostly owned by regional franchisees. So if you are interested in that space, that's a pretty big subprime group. So if you are interested in that, let me know.
Ian, send me both of that information.
Okay, if you could just send me an email, I'll get that to you for sure. And if you are I also posted the information on that other gentleman. So if you wanted information on that Stellantis owned subsidiary from a marketing standpoint, or from a vendor standpoint, or from a dealer standpoint, they have an interesting model. It's a little different in North America than Europe, but they're global. They're owned by Stellantis.
Ian, if I may, I've shared a couple of our platforms, and you have my email and everything. And I always wanted to see when if you can send me that, email me that through our LinkedIn.
Just send me an email with what you want, and I'll be happy to send you those contacts. But those are three that I think are really interesting. I work with a company that does video, and they're doing an interesting piece with video and RVs, kind of like a condo walkthrough with like touch points, like inside the RV, which I thought was really novel. But RVs are, a big market. But I don't think anyone really talks about that market all that much. So if your product can work with RV dealers, they're a little bit more Luddite than a car dealer, but they do have a little bit of inventory, and it's harder to move because of the cost of it. Right?
Hey, for anybody, for folks that were at the SodaCon and weren't on last week, Drew Perman joined us. I've known Drew for forever, and we're integrating our businesses together. He's an unbelievably good digital guy, and just a good guy on top of it. We're pretty excited to get things sparking all over the place. Drew, we were just covering some of the great things that were happening to SodaCon. They always have a top-notch production and some really out-of-sight speakers. The keynote was David Spizak, who's about as sharp as anybody in the STEM industry, and a good guy to listen to.
Yeah, I heard a lot from that conference. I knew, obviously I'm heavy in the digital world, so I had to, if it didn't conflict with us being down in Virginia, I actually would have been there. So I spoke with a lot of people, and I think there was a big disconnect. I think that, that was taken away from that was, it was supposed to be the year of the human. And then everything that was discussed at this convention was all about AI. And it almost, it kind of, I don't know, it made the people that brought kind of the social media part of it to being like, everybody was talking about how their AI is different and how it works in their store and how they're going to be different than everybody else out there. But it was supposed to be the year of the human, and it really had a lot to do with subhuman or fake human. And I think that was a bit of a distraction to, I think, what they wanted to accomplish at that meeting. And those are some of the high-end clips that I got from, you know, whether it be a social media vendor or even an AI vendor. I think it was just, in my own opinion, just too clouded with everybody's trying to sell a solution. AI. I don't know.
I think they tried
that AI is a tool.
Hey, Drew, I think they tried to mesh that because there were a million great human interactions with the different vendors and the people. It just about there are always some people you meet that are new, but so many of these people know each other. That's how I first met Wendy, and that's how I first met Russell. And so while I understand where you're coming from, I think there was so much meshing of just different people that knew each other or wanted to know each other that they might have kind of got around that. But I know where you're coming from.
Yeah, totally respectfully, though, Drew.
I agree with that too. I think there was a lot of great interaction.
Totally respectfully, the three of us in the room that were there completely disagree. It was a magical blend, in my opinion. Okay. So I would ask some other people that you know because
no, I listen. I wasn't there, so
no, I'm just
getting opinions.
I'm just saying.
You know the saying.
Yeah, I totally get it.
You know the thing about opinions, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say I totally disagree.
Wendy's not here for the swear jar, so.
I mean, I wouldn't say I totally disagree. I mean, there are definitely a lot of these first flight AI companies that are very focused on like the easiest sell, which is, hey, we're going to replace the things humans do in the dealership, and your ROI is going to be elimination of headcount, right? Yeah. A lot of these AI receptionists are very much just, you know, they may not say it on their face, but when they go into a boardroom, the ROI sheet's going to show, oh yeah, you know, these people never call in sick. These agents never call in sick. They never go on maternity leave. They don't need benefits, etc. And you're going to be able to fire 5 people, and there's your ROI. But this year was different in the context that we saw more companies than just us that are focused on human plus AI collaborative platforms that drive, you know, mass efficiency improvements and amplifications of humans rather than just replacing them.
Hey, Matt, we got 1 second. Let me throw this back at Matt. One of the reasons that Drew's jumping in with us, Matt, to your point, and I've known him forever and he's known me, we've been friends. Sure. He went down to Virginia, and I caught for 3 hours and 4 minutes with no break. Nobody wanted to leave the room. Now, AI is a lot smarter than Larry Feldman, but AI can't put its arm around your shoulder or smile at you or empathize with you. So if it's an addition, if it's an adjunct, if it amplifies what we do, I say it all the time. Wendy's heard me say it. If it makes you better, it's great. But if it's a crutch rather than a tool, you're dead. Matt, I'm older than you, and when I got into this damn business, they were starting to print. This is gonna make you laugh, Russell. The inventory, it was on white paper with like punch holes on the left side, and the salesman. The dumb salesman would say, oh, yeah, sit down at my desk. Let me tell you what I have. Pull it out of their back pocket. It became a crutch rather than a tool. Now, if you looked at it before the customer came in and said, let me show them what's on the 4th row, I love it. So it's always the old thing. You can't replace us. You can make us better. Yep. You can train us better. You can augment us. But I think it's fool's paradise. And the only reason I'm saying that, I am probably, without exception, the least technical guy on this program. I mean, it's scary how bad I am. But I'm betting the sharpest stuff. You're Russell, Matt. I mean, we got guys in here sharper than attack. David Rosick. But every damn one of you, when you have a problem, are so frustrated when you can't talk to a human being, or they prompt you 5 times and then they hang up.
I was going to say, if we haven't learned anything from the last 20 years of sitting on hold at American Express or Verizon, what the hell are we even doing, right? How many times have we yelled at the system that, you know, we just want to speak to a representative or a human?
No, Matt, you know, I never interrupt you. You're smarter than me, but it's not talking, it's screaming. Because by the 9th time you've gone from politely saying, I have a question, to, I want to talk to somebody, damn it. Your nut is bulging.
Yeah, and it's, you know, a lot of this, you know, I've said for a long time, right, that the promise of end-to-end AI automation is a pipe to investors in Silicon Valley, right?
Yeah.
The reality of it for
Hey guys, I'll jump on in a second. I gotta go take a quick call, right?
All right. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Drew. I'll see you tomorrow.
If I may add something, if I may answer. Yeah, because this weekend
Abdul, make it quick. One of the soccer teams needs that jersey back.
Exactly, because you know, I'm getting ready for the World Cup.
There we go.
The new survey that came out from all the graduation and the new grads, anyone with bringing up AI got the biggest boost of all, because the new report showed that 81% of graduates are scared shitless, pardon my French, about not getting an entry-level job. So when AI is saying that will help you streamline and reduce your cost of entry level, well, these college grads want entry level jobs. And our job at Zamzella is to help whoever's up there and not, like Larry said, give them a crutch, give them a tool to enhance each one staff member of a dealership. And that's why our number one emphasis more than anything is used cars, and getting the used cars and age units on new cars, and then go from there. We're not there to replace, we're there to enhance. And
Hey,
that's,
I'm thinking what Abdul always speaks wisdom. Matt, I just picked up another giant dealer group. I'm everywhere, but I'm thinking I'm on the wrong path, and so are you, Matthew. Why don't we sell our business and start a university? Because where else can you overcharge people for absolutely useless skills and then have the government underwrite?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And that's why I know you were busy, because Larry, I was waiting for you on Monday.
And wait a minute, Abdul, since there's so many anti-Semites out there, we call Feldman. How about Copley University? Matthew, it has a hell of a ring to it, buddy.
Well, here, I think it's a good call out, Abdul. I saw some reels of all of these commencement speeches that were getting like booed off of the stage.
81% negative view of AI.
The dean of the business, my daughter graduated last Friday, and she went right at it. But what she did do was kind of said that it's a tool. At least she put that in context. And
yeah, you also got to understand that this is a generation, right?
Yes.
This graduating class specifically is a generation that went through schooling and curriculum that was still very much pre-AI focused. So they are one of the most underadvantaged graduating classes with respect to the usage of AI in their workflow and preparedness for deliverables, right?
During COVID and schooling during COVID, the lockdown during COVID.
Oh, yeah, but that was my son, right? Like my son is 17, but it's a different deal with him now because he has learned to collaborate with AI to do work and to learn and to prompt it in more effective ways than these older sort of graduating generations have. I'll land my plane, I promise. But if you guys want a bright spot in the commencement speeches from this week, go watch end to end. I promise it'll tug at your heartstrings. The Eric Church, University of North Carolina commencement speech
With his guitar in hand.
beautifully.
Oh, that was awesome. That was awesome. I've seen that.
And drove a message home in a world permeated by AI about what really matters. So enjoy it if you haven't seen
That
it.
that was awesome. That was very cool.
Yeah, beautifully done.
I just with in the last couple weeks, I've had the pleasure of spending some time with Don Graff and learning what Don Graff's program is, the Voice Prophet AI, where he has 7 AI agents. And now it makes a hell of a lot more sense to me, because his platform is to aid, is to help, is to pick up, and it's not to replace, it's to enhance. And that's the message that I love seeing more and more, is that we need good human beings using the tools to get better, plain and simple. That's the value. And I'll just leave it right there.
Yeah, I will tell you one thing that did get some real negative backlash at ASOTU was the opening keynote on Tuesday. It was done by a kid from Car Edge.
Yeah.
He sent out 100 AI agents to go price bid dealers against each other.
Yeah.
Jason Harris and I were sitting in the back of the room shaking our heads going, you know what? He just burned $30,000 in dealer resources across BDCs, automations, AI phone answering, lead response, etc. And I will tell you that I don't know that dealers are going to have an appetite to put up with that shit very long. And it would not surprise me if at some point in the near future, when these armies of AI agents are price shopping, that NADA just says, you know what, we're just going pure pricing on new cars. Like, we're just done.
Yeah,
And
we're not going to put up with that.
We'll earn our VIG on our F&I and our warranties and everything else. It was bad. And here's the thing, guys, so bad that somebody I know, and I later found out, took down his whole UI mid-demo. So the whole thing, the whole view of these agents shopping went down and went to a 402 error in the middle of the thing. And then I talked to this guy I knew on an unrelated call later, and he's like, oh yeah, that was me. I was watching it live, so he had all sorts of security holes in his vibe-coded app for this, and I just decided to take it down because that's bullshit. He's wasting a ton of resources. And here's the thing, guys, it's still running right now. So not only did he waste 30 grand in the 20 minutes since he launched it, but he's probably wasted 250 grand in dealer resources since.
Matt, I haven't quoted it 2 shows. It's my favorite Einstein quote. They asked the great genius, what's the difference between genius and stupidity? And he says, genius has its limits. There's no limit on stupidity. When you don't think about what comes out of your mouth and who you're speaking to, you're out of your mind.
Yep.
Gary and Mike, I sent you those people. If anyone else needs them, let me know.
Thank
Hey,
you.
looks like we're done. Guys, thank you so much for joining in. Matt, I got to talk to you anyway, because this group I'm busting into might be a natural for you. And obviously, Mike and Gary, I'll see you guys on Friday. And I know I owe you a call. Just been a little crazy. But thank you all so much. And it's really great to see you. Wendy, always great. Russ, it's a pleasure. My buddy Drew jumped back in after his call. And David Rosick, always a pleasure, my buddy.
Yep.
We thank every one of you so much. And
Thank you.
The swear jar will be back next week with Rhonda.
everybody stay healthy, please.
Bye-bye.
God bless everyone.
Thank you for helping the industry get better. Today Live.